Wishing you a happy new year 2025 from Short Story Universe Audio. Thank you for an amazing year of stories, creativity, and support. Cheers to another year filled with captivating tales and unforgettable adventures. Thanks for clicking on my video. Lanzyka, Challenges of Champions. To fully enjoy this video, please ensure CC closed captions aka subtitle is turned on. Reminder: the characters, events, locations, etc. in the following story are fictional and set within the short story universe. By the way, there's an AI podcast Conjured by NotebookLM after the story. So, grab a snack, sit back, and enjoy Lanzyka, Challenges of Champions. The story begins in the city of Lanzyka. It's the ultimate dream destination, a Disney-esque wonderland bursting with vibrant energy, luxurious attractions, and fantastical opportunities. Costume performers dressed in advanced designer costumes, ADCs, roam the streets, embodying heroes and villains from the short story universe. Guests become part of the magic, staying in themed villas, lovely bed and breakfasts, or playing dress-up in the grand castle atop the hills. Lanzyka's slogan reads, "Your home away from home." A competition sparks love. A year ago, Renna, a charming but untrained young woman, was dared by the dashing Duke Sterlington to enter the second annual Winter Warrior competition. Though unprepared, Renna embraced the challenge with joy and scored low in every event. To her delight, Duke won the championship, earning the fiery bob, a magical weapon said to ignite its arrows with unrelenting passion. As the crowd roared, Renna cheered the loudest, her voice cutting through the applause. In return, Duke smiled and blew her a kiss. That moment marked the beginning of their love story, one filled with shared laughter and thoughtful gestures, like Duke gifting her a luxurious bottle of joyberry perfume for her birthday. A secret quest. What Duke didn't know was that Renna had been quietly training for the next competition. A year of sweat and determination prepared her for redemption. However, just days before the third annual Winter Warrior competition, a health crisis struck Lanzyka, the fluvic outbreak. Renna, citing quarantine guidelines, told Duke she couldn't participate. Unbeknownst to him, Renna donned a mask and entered the competition in secret. Her fierce eyes and unmatched skill took the crowd by storm. She triumphed in the snowball throwing contest, the flaming arrow trial, and the wounded warrior challenge. By the final event, all eyes were on her. As Amos Wicker, host of the Winter Warrior competition, declared the masked competitor as the new champion, she removed her mask. Gasps filled the air as Renna stood before them, victorious. Duke's face lit up with pride. "I knew it was you. I'm shocked and proud. 1,000,000 congrats." The Challenge of Champions. Before the celebration could reach its peak, Amos raised his hand, silencing the crowd. "Attention, everyone," he called. "The Board of Champions has kept a secret from you all, a secret that will test our best competitors like never before." The crowd leaned in, excitement palpable. "It's called the Challenges of Champions." The announcement brought cheers and gasps. Amos explained that the challenges were a series of trials, combining strength, wit, and teamwork, held deep within Lanzyka's enchanted wilderness. Only the boldest champions dared to enter. Without hesitation, Renna and Duke declared their intent to compete. From the shadows, Ellis, the ruthless first-year champion, joined them with a sinister grin. "Hopefully you've decided who's coming in second and third place," Ellis taunted. Renna smiled confidently. "We're totally in." "Let's do this," Duke echoed, fire in his eyes. The true beginning to the Challenges of Champions marks not the end of Renna and Duke's story, but the start of an epic adventure. Together with their rival Ellis, they will navigate enchanted mazes, face mystical creatures, and uncover long-forgotten secrets hidden in Lanzyka's hills. This is the story of love, rivalry, and destiny, a tale that proves the greatest adventures always begin when we bravely step into the unknown. Up next are two AI podcasters who deep dive more into this and the short story universe. Enjoy!
Welcome to our deep dive today. It's into the short story universe, and we're going to explore the world of Lanzyka, a city that kind of blends fantasy and reality in this really cool way that makes you wonder if maybe magic does exist.
And it's interesting how Lanzyka isn't just like a backdrop for the story. It's more like a character with its own secrets and even personality, and it really does shape everyone who goes there.
Yeah, it's described as this place with, like, costumed performers bringing comic book heroes and villains to life. Visitors can even immerse themselves in these crazy, detailed, themed experiences. It's wild, almost like stepping right into a comic book, becoming part of it.
I know, right? And that city slogan, "You're home away from home," really kind of plays into that whole idea of escape, Like it's saying Lanzyka is offering you this sense of belonging, of acceptance that, well, you might not find in your normal life.
It really does make you think what it is about our world that makes us want this escape so bad, this blurring of fantasy and reality.
Maybe it's us wanting something more, like a world where the impossible just happens, Or maybe we all just want a place where we can be ourselves, no judgment.
Yeah, I can see that. So in this magical city, we meet Renna Holt and Duke Sterlington, and their love story actually plays out during this big Winter Warrior competition.
I think the competition is interesting because right away it shows us this whole dynamic of challenge and ambition. We see Renna, and at first she's described as like untrained, right? And she's going up against Duke, who's already the skilled competitor who wins the second competition.
And when he wins, he gets the Fire Bob. It's this magical weapon that can actually, and this is how it's described, ignite its arrows with unrelenting passion. What do you think about that weapon? Seems pretty important.
Yeah, that whole unrelenting passion thing, it makes you think, right? It's not just some tool. It's like an extension of whoever's using it. And it can be super powerful, but maybe even destructive too.
Right, like passion itself, it can be this driving force, but it can be dangerous too, something you got to control.
For sure. And I think the fact that Duke wins it so early in the story tells us it's going to be a big deal later on.
Definitely foreshadowing there. Okay, so fast forward to the third competition, and we see Renna's clever side. There's this Fluvik outbreak in Lanzyka, and she uses the quarantine, like the rules, to her advantage. She acts like she can't participate, but secretly she's training like crazy for a whole year.
It's such a good twist. It lets her get better without everyone watching and expecting her to win. And then boom, that great moment when she shows up at the competition all masked up, wins the whole thing, and then takes off the mask.
Total underdog story. You can't help but root for her. But just as everyone's celebrating, this huge announcement changes everything. The challenges of champions.
Right. It's like the story goes from this contained competition to this big mysterious adventure. And this new competition, it's in Lanzyka's enchanted wilderness, which just cranks up the danger. Forget a trophy. Now they're facing real danger in this unpredictable place.
Yeah, and then we meet Ellis Allencourt. He's this ruthless, like seriously ruthless first-year champion who's all about rivalry. He even taunts them, about being second and third place. He's not just there to compete. He wants to crush everyone.
Totally adds to the tension, the unease.
Yeah.
Renna and Duke aren't just facing the wilderness. They've got to deal with this super ambitious rival, too.
And it makes you wonder, what's in this enchanted wilderness? What kind of creatures? What kind of magic are they going to find? And how will their relationship survive this?
Such good questions. The story has this awesome foundation, blend of love, rivalry, and magic, all in this world that feels familiar, but also, kind of alluring, kind of mysterious. So we left off with Renna, Duke, and Ellis, that rival, about to go into Lanzyka's enchanted wilderness for the challenges of champions. It's like a whole different part of the story now, right? Going from this competition we know to something totally wild.
I'm really curious about this wilderness, It's described as this place where magic is everywhere. Enchanted mazes, mystical creatures, and all these secrets that have been lost for who knows how long. It's like the opposite of that perfect world of Lanzyka, you know what I mean?
It's like a different world, yeah. One where things aren't so normal, where magic is just, it's just part of life.
Yeah.
And I think that's on purpose, that contrast. It's like there's more to Lanzyka than we see at first. Like there's this whole hidden world under the surface.
So Lanzyka is already this mix of fantasy and reality, but the wilderness is like the pure magic, the wild part of it, right?
Exactly. And that makes you think, what are they going to have to face in a place like that? We know it won't be like regular tests of strength or whatever. They're going to need something more, something that makes them think outside the box and maybe even, understand magic itself.
I'm imagining challenges where they have to figure out riddles that are like built into the landscape or make it through illusions that mess with their minds. Maybe they even have to talk to those mystical creatures, to get help.
That's a cool idea. It's like the challenges aren't just things to get past, but they have to use their brains, and figure out how to connect with this whole world. And remember the Firebob, how it's all about unrelenting passion. I bet their feelings, their emotions are going to be a big part of this too.
That's true. It makes you wonder how the Firebob will work in these challenges. Will it be even stronger in a place with so much magic? Or will it be harder to control, with all the crazy stuff they're dealing with?
It's like the wilderness is this mirror reflecting back at them. You know what I mean? The more scared or angry they get, the more dangerous the Firebob might be. But if they can stay calm, focused, remember their love for each other, maybe it'll be even more powerful.
It makes me think about the stuff we deal with in our own lives. It's not always about being the strongest or the most talented. Sometimes it's about controlling how you feel, being creative and finding ways to connect with the world around you.
Totally. The wilderness is like a symbol for all the hard stuff we face, the things that make us uncomfortable and force us to grow, to change. And just like Renna and Duke, we've all got our own Firebobs, right? Our own strengths that we got to learn to use.
Thinking about this whole competition thing, what do you think the prize is? Is it just bragging rights or is it something bigger?
Well, remember how Lanzyka is all about dreams becoming reality? I bet the prize is something amazing. Maybe it's something they've always wanted, or maybe it's like secret knowledge or power.
Whoa, that definitely raises the stakes. Now it's not just about winning, it's about getting something incredible. And it makes you wonder what they'd be willing to do to get it, what lines they'd cross.
Right. Will they still be good people, even with all that temptation?
Yeah.
Will they choose their love for each other over winning? Those are the tough choices that make a story really good.
And don't forget, there's so much mystery around these challenges. We know they're all secretive, with all this hidden knowledge. What is it about Lanzyka that makes them keep it all so secret?
It feels like there are things going on that we don't understand yet. Things that could be dangerous if people don't, respect them.
Like magic itself. It can be good or bad, right? Depends on who's using it.
Yeah, exactly. And maybe all this secrecy around the challenges is a way to protect everyone, including the magic, from people using it the wrong way.
It reminds me of those old stories, myths and stuff about secret places and forbidden knowledge. They always make it sound dangerous, like some things are better left alone.
But you can't help but be curious, right? Humans are always fascinated by what they don't know, by what's hidden.
It's like we always want to push the limits, explore the unknown, even if it's risky. And that's kind of the whole point of this story, isn't it? From how Lanzyka was created to how these characters are willing to go into this wilderness, not knowing what they'll find.
That's what makes us human, right? Being curious, wanting to understand everything, even the stuff that's supposed to be secret. And sometimes the most important things we learn are about ourselves when we're trying to learn something new.
So thinking about this short story universe, what are the big ideas that are sticking with you? What's really standing out?
I think it's how the story shows us the challenges we face on the outside and the challenges inside us, all at the same time. Renna, Duke, and Ellis, they're dealing with real obstacles, this crazy magical world. But they're also fighting their own fears and stuff, things they want, their own insecurities.
It's like what happens to them in the wilderness is showing us what's going on inside them, too.
Right. And because it shows both sides, it makes the story something we can all relate to. It reminds us that the hardest battles are often the ones we have within ourselves.
We're all going through our own enchanted wildernesses in a way, right? Those parts of our lives where we don't know what to do, where things are hard, or where we feel lost.
And just like Renna and Duke, we all have our own strengths. We got to learn to control our emotions, and we got to trust our gut if we want to come out of those tough times stronger.
That's a really powerful message, and it fits perfectly into this story. It shows us that even in a world with magic and adventure, the most important journey is the one inside ourselves. We've been talking about, how these challenges of champions are like our own struggles, the ones we have inside. And it makes me wonder, what's it all about, these challenges? Is it just winning? Or is there something more, something bigger?
Well, the story mentions these secrets, right? Secrets that have been hidden in the wilderness forever. So maybe it's not just about being strong or skillful. Maybe the challenges are like a key to unlock something huge, something that could show us what Lanzyka really is.
Like the wilderness has all the answers, even to questions they haven't thought of yet, right? And the only way to find out is to go through these crazy challenges.
Yeah, exactly. It's like They think it's a competition, but really it's a journey to figure themselves out. Remember how the fire bob is all about passion? Maybe these challenges are there to teach them how to use that passion, not just as a weapon, but to grow and understand things better.
I'm starting to see the connections, you know? Lanzyka is this mix of fantasy and reality. The wilderness is where the pure magic is, and the challenges make them face both worlds, the outside and the inside.
It's a really cool story with all these layers. It makes you think about what Vandale, the guy who created it, was trying to say. He talks about the short story universe as a place with epic tales for everyone, ages 8 to 80.
That's a good point. He wants everyone to be able to enjoy these stories no matter how old they are. Like he's saying there's something in them that everyone can relate to.
Maybe it's that we all want adventure. We all want to connect with people. We all want our lives to mean something. You see that with Renna and Duke, how they love each other, how they help each other through all this, and how they're both like amazed by this magical world.
Yeah, even with all the danger, all the scary stuff, there's still love, there's still happiness. There are those moments that just make you feel alive, you know?
And even when we're going through our own tough times, our own challenges, we don't have to do it alone. The people we love can help us, make us stronger, and help us get through anything.
What really hits home for me is that facing challenges, you know, the ones inside us and the ones in the world, can change us. Renna and Duke aren't just trying to win, they're becoming better people, growing, becoming who they're meant to be.
It's a powerful message. And it shows how stories can change us too. We see ourselves in these characters. There are good times and bad times, and it makes us want to be more brave, more true to ourselves.
So, before we finish this deep dive, what's the one thing you want our listeners to remember?
I want them to remember that every story, every challenge is a chance to grow, to discover new things, to connect with others. Whether it's some fantasy adventure or just dealing with real life, there's always something to learn, something good to find.
Well said. And if you, our listener, were to step into Lanzyka's enchanted wilderness, what challenges would you want to face? What secrets would you try to find? How would you hope to change? Think about those questions, not just in stories, but in your own life, too. Until next time, keep exploring, keep asking questions, and never lose that sense of wonder.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and click the bell notification so you never miss an update. If you'd like to support the channel, visit the PayPal link on my homepage. Wishing you a happy New Year 2025. See you in the next video.